Learn English through stories E12. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 1. A treasure for Ramu. 2. Value of money. 3. Problems in life. 4. Journey of life. 5. Grammar page adjectives. 1. A treasure for Ramu. Vishnu Kaka's grandchildren had come to visit him. Vishnu Kaka was a very good friend of Granddad's. They had lived next door to each other for years. Unfortunately, his wife Vasanthi Kaki died a few years back. Though there was a cook, his grandchildren, Sharon, Suma, and Divya, always preferred to eat in Grandma's house, which Grandma also welcomed. With 7 hungry children to feed, Grandma realized telling a story would be a good way to keep them quiet till the food got cooked. Grandma started the story while peeling the potatoes. Did you know that sometimes even the gods in heaven can get into an argument? That's what happened once when Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, found herself cornered by all the other gods. Together, they accused her of one thing, that she never stayed in one place for too long. No sooner are you comfortably settled in one house, do you decide to leave it, and off you go elsewhere, they said to her. Lakshmi sniffed and said, "That's not true. I stay in a house as long as I am welcome. If people think ahead, work sincerely, and spend money wisely, I stay with them forever. Unfortunately, often when I am in one place for a while, people behave strangely, and I have no choice but to leave." The other gods pooh-poohed this and refused to believe her. Poor Lakshmi decided she needed to show them proof of what she had just said. Here is what she did to show that she was correct. Remember, many human years make only a second in God years. So what took years to happen on earth, the gods could see in only a few minutes. Ramu and Rani were farmers. They worked hard in their fields and earned enough money to feed their children and meet their other needs. They were not rich and sometimes had to make do with fewer new clothes and not very nice food. One day, Rani was digging a corner of her garden in order to plant a tree. As she dug deeper, there was a loud clang. Her shovel had hit something metallic hidden underground. Excited, she dug faster, till she pulled out a large metal box. When she opened it, she could not believe her eyes. It was filled with gold and silver jewels. For a while, Rani stood dumbstruck. Then she did a happy whoop and ran home with the box under her arm. "Ramu, Ramu, see what I found buried in our garden," she yelled. Ramu was writing up the accounts for the month, and for a while paid no attention to his wife. Only when she came up to him and did a happy jig around him did he look up. Imagine how his mouth fell open in surprise when he saw the box of jewels. Soon Ramu and Rani were the richest people in the village. They stopped going to work. After all, what was the need, they told each other. Why work in the hot sun when they had piles of money at home? They left their small cottage and moved into the biggest house in the village. They had servants who worked day and night doing every small job, so the two did not need to lift even a finger. There was a cook who cooked delicious meals, one person to serve it, another just to clean shoes, and one person to even fan Ramu as he sat on his bed the whole day and gossiped with his newfound friends. Then Ramu decided village life was too boring, and they moved to the big city. There they had another big house, more servants, and lots of fun at various parties. Slowly they forgot the good things that had once made them a well-loved family. They forgot to work hard, to help others in their need, or to just be nice people. They thought that with money they could buy anything, including respect. They behaved rudely to others. They spent more and more money on clothes and parties, and as they did no work at all, the money started dwindling. They started borrowing from others, which they soon could not pay back. One day, Ramu looked sadly at his account book. It was now filled with numbers that showed he only needed to pay others. There was hardly anything left for himself. In a heavy voice, he called out to his wife, "Rani dear, the good days are over. I think we forgot to be the kind of people Goddess Lakshmi likes. She has gone elsewhere, and we are left with nothing." Rani stood silently for a while, then replied, "Never mind, Ramu. We have learned our lesson. I now think of the days when I would work all day long and go to sleep a tired person and sleep soundly. I would fall into a deep slumber as soon as I lay down on the bed. Now I lie awake all night, wondering which sorry to wear the next day and what to do with our money. I am too fat to even dig like I did when I found the treasure. Ramu smiled and hugged his wife. We'll go back to our village and to our old ways. We will work hard like we did once, and we will help everyone around us. Maybe that will make Lakshmi come back to us one day, and even if she doesn't, we will try and be happy with what we have. So Ramu and his family went back to their old home. And do you know what? They did live happily ever after. The gods watched what was happening with Ramu and Rani from the heavens as Lakshmi entered and then left their house. They had to agree with her. If the people of the house she entered became nasty, then what could she do except leave and hope they saw the error of their ways? 2. Value of money. I was 14 when I learnt the value of money. I wanted to get myself a new computer, although there was nothing wrong with the computer I was already using. It was summer break and I had been watching a lot of TV. There was this one advertisement that would pop up on the screen all the time. It was from the latest Bell computer. It had the fastest processor and unbelievably high storage among many other features. Every time I saw it, I was intrigued. I would go online and watch people reviewing the computer just to find out more about its features. I would read articles about its features in tech magazines. It appeared to be the ultimate computer, but the limitations of my own computer made me unhappy. But my parents refused to buy me the computer when I asked them about it. Looking back now, I probably did not need all those extra features. I could do everything I wanted to do on my own computer without running into any issues, but the consumerist in me seemed to think otherwise. After a while, my parents noticed how obsessed I was with this new computer, so they decided to give me a chance to earn it. They told me if I started doing house chores, they would give me money for it, and I could save up until I had enough to buy the computer on my own. It seemed like a good idea, and I jumped at the opportunity. The very next day, I started waking up early to make extra time to be able to do more. I would do the dishes 3 times a day, take the garbage out, mow the lawn on the weekends, clean the whole house and wash the car whenever needed. I was working tirelessly every day until my whole body was sore just to wake up the next day and do it again. Eventually, I got used to it and it became easier. I also got more efficient at it, and soon I was doing everything a lot quicker. As I got quicker, I started having more free time and didn't really know what to do with it. Please, Dad, is there anything else you need help with? I'm willing to do anything. Just lay it on me, give me more chores. I remember pleading with Dad. I was obsessed. Any free time I had, I wanted to fill it with more work and more money. Since the summer break was almost over and I knew I would have less time once I started going to school again. So I wanted to work as much as possible during the break. It took me a few months, but I eventually saved up enough to buy myself the Bell computer. It was a week before my birthday, and I went to the Bell Center to place an order. I knew it would take at least a week for the store to get it in case it was out of stock. I walked in and went straight to the employee sitting behind the front desk to ask if the computer was available. "Oh, you don't need to buy that one. We have another one coming out soon." I realized I would need another 2 months of doing chores to be able to afford it. That is when I realized how fast technology changes, and no matter how good a machine is, there will always be a better, faster model in the market before you fully get used to the one you just got. I decided that every moment not to buy the computer, since I didn't want to spend my hard-earned money on something that would go down in value within no time. I ended up investing all of it in a saving account. This is how I learnt the value of money. 3. Problems in life. Once in a city lived a man who was not happy with his life. He was always troubled by one or another problem. One day, a saint convoy stopped at some distance from the city. People got to know about him and started reaching him with their problems. Man also decided to visit the saint. Even after reaching the saint's place in the morning, the man didn't get an opportunity to meet him till evening. In the evening, when he met the saint, he said, "Maharaj, I am very unhappy with my life. Problems surround me all the time. Sometimes there is tension at the workplace, sometimes conflicts at home, and sometimes I get worried about my health. Please tell me such a solution that all problems will end in my life and I can live peacefully." The saint smiled and said, "Son, it is too late today. I will answer your questions tomorrow. Will you do a small work for me?" The man agreed. The saint said, "There are 100 camels in our convoy. I want you to take care of them tonight. When all the 100 camels sit down, you can go to sleep." After saying this, the saint went into his tent to rest. The next morning, when the saint met the man, he asked, "Son, did you sleep well?" Tired, being sad, the man replied, "I couldn't sleep even for a moment. I tried a lot, but I could not make all camels sit. If I made one camel sit, then the other would stand up." The saint said, "You realize that no matter how hard you try, not all camels can sit together. If you make one sit, then some other camel will stand. Similarly, if you solve one problem, for some reason another will arise. Understand that as long as there is life, problems will be there, sometimes small, sometimes big." "Then what should I do?" asked the man. The saint smiled and said, "What happened last night? 1. Many camels sat down on their own by nightfall. 2. You made many sit with your efforts. 3. Many camels did not sit even after your efforts, and later you found that some of them sat down on their own. Similarly are problems in life. 1. Some end on their own. 2. Some you solve with your own effort. 3. Some are not resolved even after you try a lot. Leave such problems on time. They end on their own at the right time. Therefore, learn to enjoy life despite these problems." 4. Journey of life. Sometimes life will be great and awesome. Sometimes life will look indefinite and blurry. Along the way in the journey of life, sometimes life will be colder than warmer, and sometimes warmer than colder. But in all things, we must remember, a purposeful life journey is not over until the journey of life is over. Be it rough or smooth, good or bad, we must accomplish the task. It shall always not be good, and it shall always not be bad. We only have to work hard. 5. Grammar page.